What up? Welcome back. We got it to run last video. Completely stoked on that. And although we got it to run and fire, that we're not out of the water yet. It's still not done. Oh my god, the lens is so dirty. So we'll keep thrashing on this thing today. And if you haven't already, check out boostedlifestyle.com for all your merch. I'm so excited. So we brought this piece from outside. This is the original front clip from the quad. We need to use this piece right here. This is our clutch cable. And we'll probably be able to use the radiator as well. But because I had to have the garage door open for about 4 minutes to get that thing in here, I'm gonna have to go inside for a minute because it's still 7 degrees in the garage right now, and if I point this at the floor is actually 3 degrees Celsius. Minus 28 out today, so it is a little bit warmer today in Canada, but I'm gonna go inside for a couple minutes and I'll be back out in a second here. So this is the factory 660 Raptor handle. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff coming out of this thing. These are just sensor wires. We can get rid of those things. The one we're concerned about right here is this big thick one that runs all the way to, that would be the clutch. And then this is actually the thing that activates the reverse. We'll get rid of this and we'll just put something on the body that we can activate the reverse with. So we're just gonna try and strip this down so we can have just this cable, the lever, and then the bracket. All right, we got it all stripped down. We could cut the top piece off this a little bit and make it cleaner looking, but for now, we'll just see if this piece right here fits in a 1-inch pipe, because if it does, that would be great. Well, it doesn't quite fit on a 1-inch pipe, and it definitely doesn't fit on a 3/4 pipe, but we do have the handle, so we can cut a piece off this handle and then mount the shifter to that portion. So I'll probably end up cutting this much off, and we can weld this pipe almost inside of that pipe just to make a little longer pipe, because we want the shifter to be strong. This is kind of my idea right here. Have the shifter on the side beside the brake pedal, and you're gonna clutch it with your left hand, and then this cable is actually gonna wrap underneath the intake manifold and actually comes down to this side, so it should reach. And then we'll just have to build a bracket on the bottom here to hold the shifter, and then a linkage to go in, and then to work down to the shifter linkage down there at the bottom. Sounds easy in theory, probably not gonna. For shits and giggles, here's our rough design. It's just, it needs to be spaced out a little bit more and probably another mount put on the other side of it, but our handle's going to fit on top of this pipe. So it's gonna fit somewhere here. It definitely needs to be spaced out if we're putting the handle right there, or I'll just move the handle back. And then, when you push or pull this, we're gonna have to make a linkage that goes from underneath down here, inwards, and then connect to right here. Clutch right there. Pretty easy. I remembered I had this from our street bike engine. This might be exactly what we need, because we do need something like this to drop it down, and then we might have to extend this piece, but that might be exactly what we need to be able to shift this thing. Because it's got to go from down below this piece. We're going to make a bar that goes inwards, and that's got to connect to right there. And we need a linkage from there to the bar that's going to connect inwards, and it has to be underneath because the chain is right on top of it. Well, unfortunately, these heim joints are like riveted in here. I thought this was a head of a screw or something that would just unscrew from this piece, but no, it seems like these ones are riveted in there. I do have this other attachment right here that I drilled a 3/8 hole in, because I do have some 3/8 heim joints around here. And we can try and make something with this. This will be stronger anyways. That other one was aluminum. I don't know how strong this piece is, so worst case we can use the splines off this one, cut this piece, and weld a solid piece of aluminum onto it after if we need to, but we can try this. All right, what I might have did, oh my god, look at the mullet. What I might have did might be stupid to some people, but what I did was I welded a piece of pipe to the bottom of this pipe, and then welded a nut inside there for our heim joint, and then when this goes in here, this piece is gonna go down in here. It's gonna bolt back up to that piece, and then you can see down there, our piece is lined up with our other piece, and now we just have to make a linkage to go from there to there and get some bolts. Now, as always, time to install it while it's hot so it burns me. Moment of truth, I guess, see what happens. I didn't test it before trying to film this, so think that's gonna work. The only thing that could help is putting an extra bracket on the other side of this pole so it's not just in this one side. Okay, now we need to take this piece of pipe off and weld the handle to it. And boom, just like that, double whammy, we welded it on there. Now we have our shifter, which when you press this, and then when you squeeze this piece, oh, it's pretty tight. It actually moves this right here, which is our clutch, right there. Friggin' awesome. This can always be adjusted forward or back just by lengthening or shortening the linkage down below. Brake is right there. Needs to come back a little bit more, but... Oh man, fun times in the garage with Kyle. I can't wait to drive this thing. It's been so long. One little project at a time. You know, I went inside and put my booties on because my little toesies were getting cold. And then I found this. I forgot I had this. Love Tokyo. And what a friggin' sap Tokyo is. It says, without you, the LOL Neon never would have survived. The Mally Boost never would have existed. Now thanks to you and the other amazing people, 2.0 will be better than ever. So if you guys don't follow the rest of my channel, Tokyo wrecked Maliboost 1.0, freak accident, wheel spacer broke off, and then he hit like a light pole. We came together as a group and we bought Maliboost 2.0. And then this is my gift to you to push to get data. And let's get that goddamn 7-second slip. Team race team, boosted lifestyle, chase the dream. Chase the dream, brother. So with the Holley HP ECU, you only have 4 inputs, 4 outputs. And what this is, it's the CAN expander module. You actually got the wiring harness with it, which is kind of cool. Essentially what this does is it gives you 8 more inputs and outputs via the CAN connector on the Holley. So, huge shout out to you too, Tokyo. Love you, brother. We definitely needed that for the data for our race car. If we're gonna be pushing more power, we're gonna want a couple more sensors. We're gonna want a scramble button. But now we gotta do something with this. I went to Canadian Tire today actually to get some like ring terminals so I can start wiring up this thing. But I had to wait in line forever for some guy to get me a ring terminal. So while I was waiting, I just ordered some on Amazon. They'll be here in 2 days. So sorry, I tried to shop local, but y'all dudes didn't want to help me out. And I think what I want to do is I want to put this throttle bracket right here just for now, just to test it out. We'll use this hole down here and then pull on this piece. And we'll see if just putting a bolt through here, bolting it down, and then trying that will give us throttle. Okay, probably should do that with a 3/8 drill bit. Putting this piece down. I have a feeling this might be too close. So while we test it. No, not quite full throttle. It didn't work. Okay, next plan. So my biggest problem is this is where the stupid thing wants to be for it to work. Like at this angle right here, because this portion wants to like fold down that way. But how am I supposed to make a bracket here somewhere? I might be able to make a bracket from the bolt down here. Let me just try something real quick, maybe. Flat plate on those 2 bolts and then... Dr. Whack-A-Mole here. Ha! Perfect. Maybe. We'll see. Now we need 2 perfectly accurate holes, but if they're not accurate, I'm just gonna drill them out a little bit bigger and then it'll fit anyways. Dang, I'm so close to being good. I mean, look how perfect that looks. You can, like, without measuring, they look good, but if you measure, they're probably not right. Let me just mark where the next hole goes. All right, let's just see if it fits. Piece in here. I haven't tested this yet. The first time's gonna be with y'all, so if I frigged it up, then you'll see my emotion expressions, because I'll be upset about it. Essentially, it's gonna go from here down into our thingy. It makes a little tight turn, but it isn't so bad once you put the cable through it. It feels pretty good. and then it goes around, and then through the thingamajiggy back there, and then out through the hole here, and then to this. So if I push this, that should move, technically. Ha! We do need something, because it's stuck wide open throttle now. Need some extra springs to pull this back, probably. Yeah. Oh yeah. We definitely need some extra springs to pull some stuff back. But we got throttle now. That's pretty cool, right? Yay! We got throttle, clutch, brakes. We just need to wire it up, and then we do need to brace the rear end somehow. I haven't really thought about it much, but for the first ride, maybe we don't need to brace it. We'll bend it first ride. All right, I just put a spring here for shits and giggles, but as you can see, I guess if I tighten this bolt right here, let me just tighten this real quick. With that spring there now, it's like, obviously we got some work to do because this piece right here, oops, yeah, it pulled through that. What I'm going to have to do is make some sort of stop right here so the pedal stops before it gets to this piece, and then also put a stop on the bottom so the pedal bottoms out, which could just be a bolt that comes up through there so you don't pull too hard on the linkage and break something up there. But that's throttle. If we sit, my big boots, I'm not going to have any feel for it, but throttle on that side, brake, oh, brake's pretty stiff, and then gears. Dang lucky! You'd think I would have put the hood on before I mounted this. It's just touching, but the good thing is I left a little bit of room down here that we could space it out even further. We just needed a longer bolt. This bolt wasn't long enough. And then a bigger spacer on the inside. That's why I had this nut to begin with. I was gonna put the nut in there for a spacer. Now we did manage to get some proper springs for this thing, and I didn't know what size to get because I was like an idiot and I didn't know. So I bought both of them, and they're just like universal. They come in big and little, just like you and me. So just like myself, we're gonna start with the little ones. I mean, is there a medium one? Average? If this is how this goes, and then this goes this way, if we put a spring from here to, I bet, right there somewhere, in the bottom, that will pull it back. So just gotta drill a hole right on the edge down there. That's a lot of tail. I guess I just gotta like cut it to length maybe. It's got a long tail. Oh yeah, that's gonna work perfect. Look at it. Oh, nice and stiff. We got a bunch of other springs if we do break this one, and I might add a secondary one to this piece just to make sure. But what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna weld a piece right here so that the pedal only stops to right there. And we're just gonna cut it out of a piece of angle iron and weld it onto the frame just like the rest of the stuff that we've been doing. So easy as like flicking this piece on. We're out of water and coolant. This thing has been so awesome. Look at it go! Look at it go! Oop. And then we'll just weld that piece right like this, somewhere. I mean, like that. Yeah, like that. It's on fire! Anyways, that's good. Ready for first drive. You can see it's a little bit sticky still, so we might have to come up with a better solution than that afterwards, but right now, as good as it's gonna get. While I have the welder out, I might pull this other wheel off and then weld these plates on a little bit better for our first drive. So just extra little bit of weld on both sides there. And then put the key in this. Oh, I don't have a bolt for that. I gotta put the key in this piece. Let's get some welds on it anyways. Make sure it's a bit solid because I don't want to die. Like first drive, don't want to die. Second drive, still don't kind of want to die. But then if I do, it's kind of my own fault. You know what I mean? Admittedly, I'm just so bad at MIG welding that I don't even do it. So TIG welding stuff takes a hell of a lot longer to do because it's two thingies at once and you're not feeding the... It just takes longer, okay? I did like the top part, the side part, and a bit of the back part, so I just triangulated the weld a little bit. I'm not gonna fully weld it until I take everything off and weld everything up. That brake caliper is so shoddy. Let's tighten this stuff down, put the wheels back on, and put it back on the ground. Maybe put the chain back on too. Well, I thought I had the right keyways to set everything up in the rear. Apparently I don't, which is no big surprise for me. But I'm actually gonna go inside, I'm gonna start editing this video, and then I'm gonna release it today, and then I'm gonna come back out here and start filming the next one. How about that? Full-time YouTube now, baby. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one. But look at it. It looks pretty badass. And I think next video we'll be able to start it with the key. The plan is to use this key and just build my own little relay board for everything that needs to be built for it. Maybe I should put a kill switch in it. That would be smart. You know what I really need for this thing is like one of those tether cords that you have on a snowmobile that you like hook to your pants, and in case you fall off and the throttle gets stuck wide open, it doesn't just keep going, it kills it. That's what I need for this thing. But we got our suicide shifter now, and we got our gas pedal hooked up. I admit it took a little bit longer than I thought it was gonna take, but like I said, I had to go above and beyond. We had to build a turbo 660 Raptor instead of just putting a 660 Raptor in it, which would have been insane and all by itself. As soon as this thing's done, working on the Fox body, as soon as the Fox body's done, start working on this thing, and then I have another surprise coming up after those two things, which we might intermingle in the middle anyways, because race season's coming up. And the Malibu's 2.0 has to get done. We're just waiting to send that one to the scrapyard so we can get the other one in the garage. Like I said, subscribing to the video really helps. Liking the video really helps. Peace easy. Get heavy.